The following segment is sponsored by North Star Financial and Retirement Planning.
In our segments with North Star Financial, we're always discussing ways to prepare for your future. And that is extremely important right now because taxes should be on your mind. Joining us now are George Fossing and Zach Jenkins. George is an advisor, a fiduciary, and the president of North Star Financial. Zach is also an advisor and fiduciary with the North Star team. North Star Financial and Retirement Planning is a local area firm that focuses on preparing people for a successful retirement. George and Zach are also popular radio show hosts joining us this morning. Hi.
Happy Monday, Margaret. How you doing?
Good. It's good to see you. First off, we wanted you to clarify something. Explain the difference between a tax preparer and a tax planner.
Well, it's an important distinction because most people, they're working with a tax preparer, which is taking care of last year's business, if you will, and filing for the IRS, and that's what they're hired to do. A tax planner does forward thinking, and which is think about reducing your taxes down the road, the next coming years, decades in front of you. And if you're coming into retirement, that's especially important because there's a great opportunity to go ahead and reduce your tax liabilities.
Right.
The distinction, again, is basically, Margaret, is because people are paying their person to take care of their taxes. It's been a very, very unsettling year for tax preparers and CPAs. They're under a lot of duress.
Absolutely.
So they're not being paid to handle this stuff. It's something we do. We sit down with our clients and address the next coming years and take a look at that. So it's a big separation between the two.
And I know one thing you wanted people to be aware of, taxes are coming for everybody. So with 401k, IRAs, and required minimum distributions, talk about some of the things that we need to look out for.
A client a couple of weeks back, he said, I paid all these taxes while I'm working. Now I'm going to be paying all these taxes while I'm retired.
It's awful.
Yeah. So one of the biggest areas of opportunity for folks out there when it comes to tax planning is addressing their RMD, which is a required minimum distribution. So the way the law currently reads is that at 72, any of those retirement plans, like an IRA, any kind of pre-tax plan you had through work, IRA specifically, so 401k maybe that you moved out to an IRA, you have to start taking distributions even if you don't need them. At 72, we call those government forced withdrawals. A family that we had met with just about a week and a half ago, they had about $1 million in IRAs. So they're looking at about a $40,000 a year required minimum distribution if they don't get ahead of that. The good news for them was they're in their mid 60s and they've got some time to get ahead of it. Ideally, what we would be able to do is lower the effective tax rate on their IRA over time by getting ahead of that.
Which means more money in their pocket.
Very valuable for people. And of course, there's a lot of concern about taxes going up and what that could do to anybody watching, right?
Well, sure. The federal deficit is running at about 15% right now, which means basically the government's spending 15% more than it's taking in. And we've been through, politics aside, last four administrations, half Republican, half Democratic, each already trillions of dollars in deficits each year. So it's uncontrolled. And it seems to be hitting the hands of the middle and upper middle class once again with that liability. And your 401ks and these IRAs that are out there, Zach said, they have big targets on their back. And if you believe taxes are going up like we do, you want to be proactive with this. You want to see what you can do today and tomorrow to save for the future. And the savings could be tens of thousands of dollars, even hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Absolutely. And you've said that there are ways that people can reduce their taxes through the way they save. Talk about that.
Yeah, one, it's we call a Roth conversion. A Roth IRA people are familiar with. You can contribute to it, but this is a little bit different. Basically, a Roth account is something that's tax-free, not only what you put into it, but all the growth. So it's a huge account. What you have to do for that is basically convert, if you have an IRA or such, take the money, pay taxes today on it. And there's a right way and a wrong way to do this too, Mark. It's very, very important to talk about that. But once you start putting that money into that account, basically it's done. There's an old saying, think of a farmer, where would you rather the farmer have the seed taxed when they bought it or when they harvest the crop, which they put all the sweat, took all the risk of doing it. It's a bigger ticket out there. So we're big, proponents of going ahead, if it makes sense to our clients, to go ahead and take a look at every year, every situation, and see if we can go ahead and make things a little bit better for them. It really comes down to this too. If you could save $4,000 or $5,000 a year in taxes for the rest of your life, That's $4,000 or $5,000 a year you can use for vacations, seeing your grandkids and such. Yep. And it doesn't take a lot of work.
Well, talking to you certainly helps to take some of that stress away. Thanks so much for being here, George and Zach.
Thanks so much, Marty. Always appreciate it.
And for you at home, if you're currently retired or getting close to retirement and would like to learn more about how to help protect and grow your hard-earned savings and investments, North Star Financial has a great offer for you. Right now until August 29th, they're offering a complimentary no-obligation retirement report. The report will include potential tax savings opportunities and ways to reduce the effects of market volatility on your portfolio. Their team will schedule a phone call, video call, or future in-office meeting so they can speak with you personally and provide you with a roadmap going forward. The number to call now, area code 864-309-8146.